Today, I'm speaking with one of the top financial advisors in the San Francisco Bay Area, who has been selected as a verified expert by the National Professional Referral Network. After reviewing hundreds of professionals in the market, Ron Silva stood out for a very specific reason. And you'll get a chance to dive in with me today and figure out why he has been chosen. Most people think they know how to choose a financial advisor. We have found that they're making that decision based on the wrong criteria. So we're going to break all of that down and dive into what makes Ron so unique and so different in helping high net worth families, individuals, business owners, and professionals. And so, Ron, welcome. I think you would agree there's a point in time where most successful professionals in the San Francisco Bay Area reach a point where it's time to talk about financial planning or retirement planning and, want to make a decision about who they should work with. Can you tell me, what do you think the biggest challenges you see in high net worth clients, and what are they facing today?
Sure. No, thanks for asking, Len. Well, you're right. Generally, what I've experienced, is seeing folks like you mentioned. They've had their head down, working real hard, and they've spent time accumulating all these assets. Now they're looking up and realizing retirement's right there.
Yeah.
And now they have all of these pieces they need to figure out how to put together. And there's not any shortage of information, but they're really looking for someone to help them navigate through all of this so that they can go from what they've been accumulating over their entire career now into a distribution phase, so to speak, as they enter retirement. And they want someone to help them to navigate through that.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So can you tell me, who do you typically work with, and what type of clients benefit the most from working with you?
Sure. I would say generally I work primarily with like retirees and pre-retirees. So we're talking professionals, maybe small business owners. They're like 55 and older. And
Hmm.
again, they're now starting to enter that phase to where they've accumulated a number of assets in their life. And now it's time to make that become part of their retirement picture. And the biggest thing they're worried about is they just don't want to mess it up. They've come
Hmm.
this far. They want to make sure they get across the goal line without making any wrong decisions. And they're really looking for someone to help them navigate through that. So that's where we come in and try to help them with that process.
Yeah, again, makes perfect sense. There are a lot of advisors in the San Francisco Bay Area. We chose you for a reason. Can you tell me what makes your approach different from, say, everyone else?
Sure. Well, I'll tell you, Len, I'm proud to say that I'm one of the few financial advisors here in the San Francisco Bay Area that specializes in helping high income earners, really determine whether or not they are financially prepared to
Mm.
retire using a proprietary process that I've created called the PWRP, which is the Personalized Building and Retirement Plan.
Ron, that sounds perfect. So can you walk us through how you typically help a new client once they start working with you?
So again, we help them with their estate and legacy planning so that it comes together in one personalized process in order to help them continue to build wealth through retirement, minimize taxes, preserve assets so that they can really enjoy retirement and hopefully make sure that they never ever have to worry about running out of money.
Great. Can you share an example of a situation where a client came to you with a specific problem and you were able to fix or handle or correct that problem?
Yeah, actually, with all the clients I've had the privilege of working with, one really stands out with me, and it uh, actually was a client that came to me after a sad event where she had lost her husband, didn't know really much about how to oversee the investment process, and she came to me looking for guidance, making sure that her income would remain as it was, and really
Hmm.
wanted to get a handle on her full picture. So I helped walk her through that process. But it wasn't long before tragedy struck again, and unfortunately, she lost her daughter during a procedure that went wrong. And unfortunately, in addition to having the grief of losing her daughter didn't have really her affairs in order.
Mm.
And she was looking at me like, Ron, how do I figure this out? So I was literally there holding her hand. We were making calls together. We tracked everything down, essentially got everything taken care of,
Mm.
even helped her reset her estate plan so that now everything would be going as it should to other family members. And I just remember her after the fact looking at me saying, Ron, I don't know how I would have ever gotten through this process without you. And so it's
Yeah.
moments like those that really leave a mark. But that was a situation where I knew that this person wouldn't have been able to get through it without the proper help, and I was glad I was there to do it.
Wow, that's some story. I don't think most people think of a financial situation happening like that, or that financial advisors can handle such complex financial situations. So I appreciate you sharing that. Can you share a little bit
Sure.
about maybe your background, your experience, or both that makes you uniquely qualified to work with high net worth people, families, business owners, and professionals?
Sure. No, absolutely. Well, again, I've been working here in the San Francisco Bay Area now for just 20 plus years. I've gone through the CFP to become a certified financial planner. That program, which again kind of exposes to a wide array of different specific areas of planning to make sure that we can bring solutions in many different areas to clients. And uh, I've had the chance to also go in and, as I've been in the industry, be exposed to more and more of the latest strategies that are available. Things that clients can only get also through advisors when they come and work with people like ourselves to make sure that they're having their needs met at the highest level. So those are things that we try to make sure we bring to our clients and that they're aware of.
Perfect. Can you share a little bit about why you think it's important for people in the San Francisco Bay Area to work with a local advisor rather than somebody out of the area or even out of state?
Sure. Well, I mean, again, as folks go through and they build very complex situations in regards to their financial picture. I'd like to think I can help solve most of their problems, but the reality is there's going to be probably other specialists they're going to need to potentially help with tax and estate planning needs. And oftentimes, I can help guide them to that right person here, and kind of quarterback that process to make sure the handoff goes smoothly. And I've really found in working with people over the years, despite technology being prevalent and having the ability to do these online discussions, they still want to have a place they can go in if necessary to see somebody face to face to get
Yeah,
some of these complex issues resolved. So I would say those are very key things to keep in mind.
yeah, great. What do you think your clients say they appreciate most about you?
Gosh, great question. I would say, I hope they do that. We take the time to really get to know them. We do all that we can to understand their situation as best we can to find the best possible solutions to, help solve whatever we're trying to solve. But I would really hope that they identify that we are going to take the time to get to know them as best we possibly can to get at what is really important to them.
Yeah, awesome. What do you enjoy most about helping people in their or with their financial lives?
Sure. Oh gosh. Well, I came from a divorced family from a young child. I saw what it was like being raised by a single mom, what it was like to have scarce resources growing up.
Hmm.
And I know that I made a decision pretty early on. I wanted to do what I could to help others, make sure that they were doing the planning they needed to really not have to worry about things financially the way that I know I did growing up. And I can't tell you the satisfaction that I get and the feedback from clients when they let me know that, Ron, we didn't have a clue where we were going when we hit
Hmm.
retirement,
Yeah,
and you helped us see the light of how to get where we needed to be, and it just gave us great peace of mind. So that just gives me a lot of feedback that shows me I'm doing the right things, and that's what I enjoy about it.
great. So finally, last question, there are probably some high net worth, again, individuals, families, business owners, et cetera, that are looking for a financial advisor in the San Francisco Bay Area, trying to decide who to trust. And
Right.
so what do you think? Is there anything else that you would want them to know about you while they're looking for a financial advisor they can trust in that San Francisco Bay Area?
Sure. Well, as I mentioned before, I'm certified financial planner, but what that really means in terms for, clients or prospects looking for an advisor is that I act as a fiduciary. So that means first and foremost, their needs are put ahead of everything else. So the planning that goes into solving their, financial solutions that we're looking for, it has to be with their best interest coming first. And so I would recommend that anybody out there looking for assistance or guidance in financial planning, make sure you work with a fiduciary. Where I've seen problems arise is where folks maybe have not gone to that length to find that type of advisor. They might settle for somebody they know, a neighbor, a family member, what have you, just because it's somebody they know, but they're not qualified maybe to really truly help them and put their needs first when it comes to their financial planning.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Ron, thank you for taking the time to answer my questions and share your answers and insight today. I think what stands out for me is what I refer to as a heart-centered approach. You're genuine, you're sincere, and your desire to want to help people. And for those of you watching or listening in the San Francisco Bay Area, this is exactly why the National Professional Referral Network chose Ron and to feature him as a verified expert in your area. If anybody's looking for a financial advisor and you have questions, feel free to reach out to Ron. Again, Ron, have a great rest of your day, and I hope we get the chance to talk soon.
Excellent. Appreciate it.
Bye for now.